Hi everyone! My name is Ariel Pan and I am a Taiwanese Canadian student living in Burnaby, BC. I'll be going into grade 12 in September at Mosscrop Secondary School. My community service project for the 2015 Youth Ambassador Program is Multicultural Tapestry, which is a club I started at my school that promotes multiculturalism in primary grade students by telling traditional and cultural stories in their elementary schools. The idea of encouraging students to learn about diverse cultures first came to me when I realized that most of my friends are immigrants, and almost half of the population of Burnaby is from other places on Earth as well. I myself am an immigrant. I believe that embracing diversity is a significant part of a welcoming community. Then my parents gave me the idea of using stories to teach young children about how much there is to understand about one another. My mentor, Mr. Lorenzo Dragoneri, gave me lots of suggestions and assistance in the initial planning stages. And my friends from YAP also gave me lots of feedback and encouragement. When the school year started, I spoke to Burnaby School Board trustee and family friend Ms. Katrina Chen, and she gave me lots of pointers on attracting members, explaining this project in a simple yet powerful way, and trusting members of the group to share the work. After that discussion, I applied for Multicultural Tapestry to become a club at my school. My history teacher, Mr. Dale Lintott, was super supportive and agreed to be my teacher sponsor. And after that, Clubs Day came rolling along. Clubs Day is an annual event where new students can find out what clubs there are in the school, and new clubs, like mine, are given the chance to introduce ourselves for the first time. At first, I was discouraged by how small the sign-up roster turnout was, which could be because Multicultural Tapestry did not have a legacy at school yet. But then it turned out that the 8 people who signed up and stayed committed throughout the entire year were just wonderful. They were 100% committed to Multicultural Tapestry and always have tons of ideas on what stories we can tell, what props we could use, and how we could portray a story. If anything, we became a group of really close-knit friends by the time we did our first presentation. Finding teammates you can trust is possibly the most valuable and important part of any project. And thus began our weekly Tuesday after-school meetings that comprised of researching stories from around the world, writing scripts, making or gathering props, rehearsing more, and goofing off, once in a while. I had originally planned to do our first presentation in an elementary school by Christmas, but soon realized that it was too tight of a schedule when we're writing our own scripts and rehearsing without professional help. So don't be too hard on yourself if the original timeline you designed doesn't work out all that well. It's easy to underestimate the time needed to complete a certain stage of a project. So it's usually all good as long as the timeline is adaptable and you are flexible. But that doesn't mean that you can dilly-dally. There are always lots to be done and always lots more that can be done, especially for a new project. So please do not procrastinate. Communicating with anyone involved with your project is another tricky part. Luckily, the teacher emails of the Burnaby School District are available online, and most of the primary grade teachers I contacted were enthusiastic about Multicultural Tapestry presenting to their class. So, after much negotiation on time and date, Multicultural Tapestry gave our debut presentation at Maywood Community School on March 31st, 2016. It was mostly thanks to my grade 6 teacher, Mrs. Pat Bathurst, who now works as a resource teacher at Maywood and was more than happy to help us spread the word. It was a blast! The audience was a really bright group of grades 2 to 4 students, and they had many good answers to the questions we asked. A big part of presenting to any audience, but especially a young one, is to make the experience as interactive and interesting as possible. We used the puppets that we made ourselves for a couple of stories from Africa. Then we acted out a story from the Middle East. We also asked reflective questions and gave story backgrounds in between to give more context and understanding. Personally, my favorite part was when a few audience members came up and acted out a myth from East Asia while we narrated. They seemed to have a lot of fun. With one presentation under our belt, it was much easier to explain to the next group of teachers I contacted what exactly it is that Multicultural Tapestry does. Our second performance of the school year was on May 27th at Edmonds Community School. We presented the original program that we used at Maywood with the addition of one Aboriginal story from the Greater Vancouver area. This particular story was a special one to tell because we used music that we arranged or wrote ourselves along with narration to portray the mood and the context. With the remaining month, we reviewed our presentations, held an in-club graduation ceremony for our one grade 12 member, and created a survey to be sent to elementary school teachers whose classes saw us perform to gather what we did well on and what we can improve on in the coming years. We had a year-end party as well to celebrate what group members accomplished together. And that was the end of the school year. But that's not all, of course. The current challenge I'm working on is getting donations or sponsors to help the club purchase wireless microphones to make our voices more audible during performances. Thanking everyone who has helped make your project a successful one is a very important step, because a project of any sort is always the product of combined effort from many, many different people. A big thank you goes to the YAP program for giving me the push to work towards something I am passionate about. Thanks also goes to Lorenzo, my friends, and my family for giving me so many ideas and constructive feedback. Thank you Ms. Chen for the initial pointers and Mr. Lintott for making the club possible and sticking with us for the entire year. The teachers who made time in their class schedules to see us present deserve tons of appreciation as well, because they were the ones who ultimately made Multicultural Tapestry's purpose possible. And to my 8 teammates and good friends, you guys are just the best in so many ways. Nothing that Multicultural Tapestry did in this year could have been feasible without a great team like these people. And thank you for watching. I wish you a wonderful YAP experience and a successful community service project. Have fun!